Good evening, everybody. Demon Phil here, and we have got another episode of Unscripted, and I am back. That was the official intro video that I worked all day on, and it took me all of 22 seconds worth of work that came out of that, so hopefully that came out fairly decent. If not, try to yell very lightly because I've already been about 2 in. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun with this at least anyway. So let's go ahead and take a couple of minutes here. We're going to take about another minute here to go ahead and make sure we got everybody showing up in here. If y'all go ahead and share out, and then we'll get going here very shortly. Appreciate everyone that is here. Scott, thank you for being here. Dan, thank you for being here. Wendy, I know you're backstage. Thank you for being in the comments. Hey, Scott, I appreciate that. I'm not even a professional. All right, let me go ahead and remove the banner and we will make this official. All right, so Unscripted, episode 13. So we've gone through 12 episodes and haven't been shut down yet. So guess what? We're still around. So we're going to keep going with this and having some fun. And I have missed everybody, missing a week on this, but I am back now. Chuck did an amazing job, and I cannot thank him enough for what he did in my absence of being in here. And of course, all the guests as well. But I really appreciate that everything was done in my absence, and everything that was said too, because he said some really cool things about me, because he could have said some other things that, I may have found out later on as well. Giovanni, thank you for being here. All right, so first and foremost, let me go ahead and thank my sponsors that we've got on this particular show. Number one, we've got Totally Rad Comics, which is Jim Noble, which is the Clown King, which is backstage trying to make me smile and get thrown off pace as we speak, because he's making faces back there that I can see. So aside from him, we have Codex Entertainment, which is Luis Torres, which has Lily the Demoness and Ace and Starlet. So be looking for those to be coming back on Kickstarter fairly soon. Knowing him, he doesn't take much of a rest on that. Then we've also got 183 Degree Studio, which is Karen Nicole and Alfred Trujillo, which were my guests actually last night's show. If you missed that, go back and watch that. But they have Confessions of a Cosplay Diva and Fire Bitch and Fire Bitch 2, which will be released later this month. And then lastly, we have on here Naughty Fairies, which is Wendy Steen Shaner. And she just had a crowdfunding on there on Kickstarter for Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins number 4. And she is about to be a huge part of ClickCon, which will be coming up September 12th. So be watching and ready for that one, because there's all kinds of new stuff coming out in that one. It's going to be a great time. So that being said, let's go ahead and make this about the guests that are here, because I've got quite a few of them to bring out. So we're going to go ahead and start bringing them out here. I want to go ahead and start out with ladies first on this one. So we're going to go ahead and bring out Wendy Steen Shaner.
Hi, Phil.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We have got Meredith Loughran.
Hey, gang.
We have got Mog Park and Mel. Thank y'all for being here.
Hello.
We have got David Whalen.
Hi, guys.
Sean Barber.
What's that?
And Jim Noble.
Hello.
I told y'all we had a full panel for tonight, and I did not lie about that. This is a good-looking crew that we got here to go ahead and have some fun tonight. So,
Look it.
well, not good-looking that way. Don't get me wrong on that. Well, thank y'all all for being here. I certainly appreciate that. What I want to go ahead and do very quickly before we get into all of the shenanigans, because it will get into a lot of shenanigans, we're actually going to go around starting with Wendy and then ending with Jim. If you go ahead and tell us who you are, what you do, and where to find you, that way everyone in the audience will know that as well.
I'm Wendy Steen Shaner. I have Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins. I'm the creator and artist for that. We just finished our Kickstarter just over 2 weeks ago. We did awesome. It was the best one to date. And we have ClickCon coming up in another month or so. It's September 12th with Tom Hutchinson and C.D. Zane. That's going to be a Kickstarter that's set up like a comic convention. We each got a new story coming out, a spinoff of each one of our from each one of our books. And then you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Naughty Fairies.
Very cool. Meredith, what about you?
Hey guys, I'm Meredith Lochran. I am a content creator. I am the executive producer of Geek Speak, which is a podcast and radio show on Geek Insider, as well as iHeartRadio. I am also one of the founding members of Terraform Comics, which is a publishing company, and we are getting ready to have some pretty big announcements, so that's really cool. Sign up over at the newsletter if you can. That way you get the information directly to your inbox. I also have Wild One Forever, which is a women-centric site. I'm the editor-in-chief over there, and it's a women-centric site, but it's not women exclusive. So I always tell the guys, if you want some insight into the women's psyche, you should definitely go over there and read some of the articles. And then I feel like I'm forgetting something, and that's why my husband says my title should be etc., etc. Oh, I did want to say that I'm getting ready to self-publish an anthology of horror and thrillers. Yes. So that's going to be exciting. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to put that out on Indiegogo. I might just put it up on Amazon. I have no idea. But anyway, that's pending. I'm on final edits. And on that, Mog and Mel, I'll pass the baton to you.
Hi guys, I'm Mog and Mel. No, I'm Mog. This is Mel. I'm an artist, illustrator. I do all kinds of work, like commercial, from TVs to comics to game design, and yeah. Pass to Jim.
David, go ahead.
I'm Dave Whalen. I am the owner-operator of Correct Handed Comics. I'm the writer-artist on multiple titles, including our flagship title, The Offspring, which is a thriller, action, horror title, and we are about to publish issue 13, so I'm super excited about that. You can find all of our books on correcthandedcomics.com, links to all of our books there, and you can find us on Facebook at Correct Handed Comics and Twitter at correct_handed.
Very cool. Sean, you're up.
All right, I'm Sean. I am co-creator and inker for the comic book Belial. I'm also a freelance inker and an inker for an anthology put out by Caliber Comics called Mississippi Zombie. So other than that, just all around goofball. So that's me.
And speaking of goofballs, Jim, you're up.
Yeah. Hey, coronavirus I can't get my hair cut. So I am Jim E. Noble. I am the creator and head writer of Totally Rad Comics. I recently did a Kickstarter, Totally Rad Life of Violet #3/Rax #1, which is currently on BackerKit. So if you missed out, now's your chance. We're currently at $29,434. I am also doing a Indiegogo in about a week and a half, which also features a cover by Wendy, who's here tonight with us. And it's the Totally Rad Adventures of Zira, and it's also going to feature the Roxy Feelgood Summer Special for those who missed out on my web store. It is going to be on Indiegogo as well with Zira. And you can find me on Facebook, Jim E. Noble. You can also find Totally Rad Comics. I'm pretty easy to talk to. I got tons of Totally Rad stuff to sell and show you guys. So, yeah.
Very cool. Excellent. I appreciate all of y'all being here. I want to go ahead and start off by saying, if anybody's paying attention to the shows and everything, you'll notice tonight that I have not one, not two, but 3 people who have not been on here before. Well, technically 4 because Mel is on here too. So 4 people. Wow, I'm just going all out on this one. So we have new people that are on the show. So we're going to try not to scare them away too fast. I mean, I want you to stay for the entire show if possible. But I want to say I appreciate y'all stepping on here and having fun with us, because this show is all about getting everybody on here and just unwinding after the week and having some fun. That's all this is. There are 4 simple rules that govern this entire show. Number 1, no politics. Number 2, no religion. Number 3, no drama. I'm fixing to say no Jim and add 5 in there. And number 4 is no negativity. So as long as we abide by those 4 rules, this show has been doing great. I mean, we're up to episode 13, and honestly, it is my highest viewed show of all of the shows that I've done. So apparently, everybody wants me to keep this show going, So if you're interested and you're watching in the audience, or you're going to be watching this later on and you want to be a part of this panel, reach out to me, let me know, because I'm going to have to start scheduling some people to be on the seats as well, because people want to be on here and have some fun. And let's show them why, because this is Unscripted number 13. Welcome to the show. Have some fun.
Yeah.
And you're in a new location.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am Southern again, which you can tell by my daggum draw here, because I'm Southern again. I'm back here in Georgia. I'm in a good place now. I talk how I want to.
We just moved too. So you and I were the same.
Oh, y'all did end up moving?
Yeah, this is a new place now.
Oh, wow. I remember you saying you were in the process of doing the same thing I was. I just didn't realize at the same time.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it when we
Where'd you
told you
move
the last
to?
time, so we're in here, we're trying to get settled. We just got our bed delivered today, brand new, so I can't wait to try that out tonight. So, get some good sleep, that is, of course.
Yeah, I had the mattress delivered here. Right, I had the mattress delivered here before I moved here, so my roommate went ahead and opened it up and had it auto-inflate and everything, because it's one of those, it's the air infused, yada, yada, yada. It's a good mattress. The problem is the bed frame was supposed to have been here 2 days ago, and I got in touch with them, and they said, oh, we had problems with the shipping on it, this, that, and the other, so it'll be here next week. So I'm laying on, not on the floor, but laying down. Getting down in the bed is not a problem. Getting up in the morning is a problem.
Yeah.
You do that weird rollover onto all fours.
I'm pretty old, so I can't sleep on the floor, but however, Maud doesn't have that problem, so she had no problem sleeping on the ground, on the floor for 2 weeks. We had to wait 2 weeks for that bed to get delivered. I can't believe it took that long.
That's no fun.
And I checked everywhere at different places to see if they could deliver it faster. There just wasn't any way. So tonight she was sleep on the bed.
Air mattresses. You can get them for like.
Damn, it's Kubina.
Well, the problem with air mattresses is my roommate actually has a couple of cats, and I could already see that happening, of just that sleeping really well, and all of a sudden.
Yeah, you know what? You can't share the air mattress either, because if one gets out, then the other one goes flying. You know.
Exactly.
So.
And God is here if somebody moves around a lot, because that other person's going to be bouncing around.
I take the couch. That's where I sleep.
See, I'm demented enough that if I had someone else that I was sharing an air mattress with, I would do one of those flying gainers onto it to see how far I could bounce it off into the next room.
And shoot them off into the closet.
You gotta let us know when you do that, so we can stand there and hold up our ratings and scores. That was an 8.5, Bill.
Exactly. So, how big of a move did y'all make? How far did y'all go?
Not too far. We were in Anaheim Hills, and so this was about 30 minutes north of there, about.
Oh, okay.
In Rancho Cucamonga, so it's a nice area here. Anaheim Hills is nice as well too. So we're close to several malls. We're 20 minutes away from the airport, so that makes it convenient for us since we do travel a lot doing the shows. In other places, there's a lot of the grocery stores that we like to shop at are here as well. They're like within 10 minutes away. And of course, Walmart, Target, they're right there too. So everything's pretty convenient. I can't think of anything that we really got to address. Oh, I am having problems trying to find a good place to print, the stuff that we need, prints and whatever else. That's the only thing I have a problem right now. But eventually I'll find something, because it really is a better place to do it. It's just a matter of seeing which one can do the job right.
Are you looking strictly for a local printer, or are you looking just for a good printer? Because we have contacts between all of us here that know some really great printers.
Well, not a lot.
Yeah.
I think, I'm pretty aware of that, because we are in touch with like other artists. But I'm usually able to find something good that's local. Now, there's one in Anaheim Hills that I really, really like going to, but I don't want to drive 30 minutes down there. I need something, I'm looking for something closer. If I have to, I will.
Yeah.
I haven't really had a chance to really look around, but I think
Where
did you go, Wendy?
think y'all are freezing up a little bit over there. Did I lose you?
Uh-oh.
At least they're not frozen like
I can see y'all over there, Mog and Mel. Just there's nothing, no voice or anything coming out over there.
They're frozen right now, or they got some wicked staring contest skills.
If you can hear me, why don't you go ahead and drop out and come back in, and I'll bring you back up. No, maybe not.
you might have to kick them.
That's what I'm doing.
I hate doing that because it feels mean.
Nothing personal.
Nothing personal. Come back.
Yeah, with my journey, I hate U-Haul. I'm gonna go ahead and say that out loud. And I'm sorry if anybody in the audience actually works for U-Haul or whatever, but I hate U-Haul because they told me it was gonna be about 960-ish miles to go ahead and make the trip here. 1,118 miles is what it took me to get here, and I was going by the map that they gave me to be here and everything. So they charged me the extra miles and all that fun stuff on there, and just really hit my card for some more money. And it wasn't like, you know, a night and day difference, but it's the principle that's behind it. Is like, come on, I mean, you told me one thing and then can't figure it out.
So I totally thought you just said I hate y'all and not I hate you all.
That's what I thought too.
Your accent, I was like, why does he hate us? What did we do?
I mean, I understand this guy, but I don't know what I did. No, I have a horror story with U-Haul though too. I used it once, and I haven't used them ever since. I was moving my father, I guess, from Tennessee to Ohio, and figured it out, got the mileage and everything, loaded up, moved them all over, and I guess when I went to go drop off the U-Haul, they charged me double.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wait, what's going on? And so I went out there and I checked the mileage before I took a picture of it. And then at the end, I looked at the mileage and they're like, no, that doesn't count. We checked under the hood for the mileage. And I was like, what kind of fool do you think I am? Like, checking underneath the hood for mileage. No, we've got a different odometer under here. And so I had to fight them. I got so mad. And then it was the first time I ever legit, like, walked out, like, super, super pissed. I had, like, flung open the doors and was out of there. I was so mad.
Wow.
But it was a difference of, like, another $250. It was horrible.
So I'm going to go ahead and say right now, Russell's here, so I'm warning everybody. So if you haven't dealt with Russell yet, we're going to get right into that. Russell said the 900 miles they quoted you didn't include all those late-night booty calls you drove into on your way to Georgia. Russell, I got to make money some way to pay for that damn truck. So you leave my booty calls alone.
$20 over and over and over and over again adds up.
Right? You take credit? If you do, can you just put it under U-Haul so I can write it off?
Oh my goodness.
So now everybody's been introduced to Russell.
Hi, Russell.
I have got a great crew that's over here that watches the show on a regular basis. Like I said, I watched the show from last week. And, of course, Jim was kind of going over there going, oh, God, you're watching the show. Chuck, messaged me and said, you're really going to watch the show? I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to watch the show. But there was some really great things that were said in there. And like I said, I want to say thank you because even in my absence, it was told to me that my show would not stop. And I do appreciate that because it's not about me. It's about the fans that are out here in the audience, which I thank every one of y'all. And I did say y'all, not U-Haul. And everyone on the panel too, because it's all about everybody that's here and having some fun and just cutting loose and just let the shenanigans go. That's all you got to do with this thing. Russell, I am not going to put every comment up here. I don't want to scare the guest away that quick.
Do it.
I might as well. It is unscripted.
If we don't know you by now, for this show, come on.
Well, I mean, okay, so Mog and Mel and David are not as familiar with Russell.
Why isn't he in here today?
It sounds like you just need to invest in more sheets. It's not too much the mattress problem, it's a sheet problem, right? That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know.
I'm so glad you didn't say sheep.
Yeah, because that would have been bad.
Yeah, bad.
Oh no. Oh.
I'm sorry, she goaded me into that one.
No, but I mean,
She was just kidding, dude.
I don't think we should not mention that again. That was a stretch. That one was a stretch. I'm sorry. I just tried to ram it in there.
There it is. He got one in too.
This went south real fast.
Oh.
Maybe we should have watched an earlier show to see where this is all going to. This is totally south of what I thought the show would be.
So it's gonna be like an intellectual discussion.
Throw that out there, Miguel.
Yes.
You may not be able to run for office after one of these.
No. Now I will say because I did have I had Mog on one of my interview shows, and if you missed that one, you definitely need to go back and watch that. We had a great interview and all. So that was one of those things. Is whenever you reached out and you said you wanted to be on the show, I was making sure that you knew what the show was, because this is not your normal interview show. This is where we just get on here and just have fun. There is no script. I mean, that's why I call it unscripted, is we get on here and just shoot from the hip and have some fun. There will be a few things that will go on topic just to kind of fill the spaces on there and have some fun with some discussion. But over the most part, it's dealing with whatever's said in the audience, dealing with what's over in here, and then we have fun. That's all it's about.
All right, let's go for it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Nothing but a good time.
Phil needs to have new guests watch previous shows so they know what they're signing up for. I agree. There needs to be like an NDA that I need to start up on this or something, because whenever they come in here, it's got to be like, okay, if you're on Unscripted, it's like Fight Club. You don't talk about Unscripted.
You need to put together like a damage reel, just a bunch of stuff that Jim says during it, and then people know.
Don't do what Jim does. See, the best part about the rules of don't talk about Unscripted, I don't remember what happened on Unscripted usually the next day, so because I usually on the shows I drink a lot. Tonight, however, I'm completely sober, so we're good. But
You might be good if you just post some of some of that stuff that Russell is saying there, like the thing about the love stains in your water. I don't think people will get a good gist of it all.
He's supposed to put a comment on and says he's not wearing pants.
Okay.
Just saying, I thought you already knew what was going on when you were talking about breaking in the mattress. So
yeah, so when you mentioned that mattress, I was about to ask if your roommate broke it in for you before you moved in.
So he told me. He said that he and his girlfriend, because she comes over once in a while, he said, I was going to be so bad, and I was going to tell you, we just wanted to go ahead and make sure that everything was okay with it and everything. I was like, yeah, you couldn't do it, could you? He was like, what, actually go through with it or tell you? And I was like, I hope just tell me.
See, you'd be glad you didn't move in with me.
Oh, man.
I would have told you as soon as you walked through that door. Actually, no, I would have told you the next morning after you first slept in the bed.
Oh, God.
So I'm making a mental note of who all's on the panel right now, because I just want to make sure that nobody unfriend me whenever we get done with this. Mel's already going through the computer going, nope, Phil Locklear, unfriend. Yeah, that's done. All right, so I do have a topic that I want to go ahead and bring up. We can kind of go into that, and then I'm sure. What?
A topic on an unscripted show?
Yeah, we always have something. Well, y'all didn't last week very much, but yeah, I generally do.
Yeah, we played a drinking game where I just kept drinking.
I know you didn't understand what the questions were, and you just kept going ahead and taking swigs.
It was just like, I've never done this. I was just like, okay, and I just kept drinking.
He's like, wait, do we drink if we do it, or drink if we didn't do it? Oh,
It was
Just
the
drink.
the rules were so confusing. I was like, I'm just gonna have to start just drinking like those drinking games make no sense to me. It's just like, I just drink to have fun. I don't need to play games to drink.
Well, it was funny because there was one question that was asked, and he was like, "Thank goodness nobody drank." And Jim's over there just going, "Blah blah blah blah." blah.
In college, the game always got in the way of the drinking, so I never played the game. Why waste your time?
so what's the game? Drink if you just drink. Got it.
All right, so
He's getting cold. So
what I want to go ahead and bring up tonight is actually something that's happened recently that Todd McFarlane had come out with his special on Sci-Fi, the Sci-Fi Network or Sci-Fi whatever, Sci-Fi Wire. Like hell I want, like hell I won't. If you have not seen that, I'm telling you right now, everybody needs to watch that because I can't draw to save my life. As soon as I watched that for the second time in a row, because I watched them back to back, I just started doodling stuff because like hell I won't. I'm telling you, that can get you all kinds of pumped up. But it's about how many times he was told no, and he kept persevering through, and he had over 300 rejection letters whenever he first started. And then he finally said, he just told himself that he was going to go ahead and do over 300 issues to make up for every one of those rejection letters. And that is the coolest thing ever because he's at 308 or 307 right now and still going forward.
Yeah.
So the big thing with that is I want to kind of bring up for discussion on here is Todd McFarlane did this whenever he was in his 20s. He started doing this. Not many people that young have that much of a business acumen. And usually whenever you get a little bit older, you get a little bit smarter about what you're doing and things like that. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes things will pass you by, and it's always learning from your mistakes on there. So what I want to kind of bring up is, based on what he did and everything, what's the biggest thing that you've done that you've learned from that you've improved on? I just kind of want to leave that open for discussion and kind of go through it.
Can you say that again?
wait, who's Todd McFarlane?
Hang on. Let me take care of this real quick. Just a moment. Okay. Let's go to the All right. So we all know who Todd McFarlane. Damn it, Jim. Okay. So again, saying, what have you done that has led you up to that point where you've almost been taken down from what you're doing and everything, and you had to go ahead and persevere through it? What have you worked on that you've learned on to do that? That's the question I want to kind of bring up for tonight. And the audience can answer as well. I have no problem with that and want to hear some from y'all as well. So the main thing, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with me on this one because my move. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. This move was the scariest thing that I've done in a long, long time because I'm starting completely over, which is scary as hell. But I came into this knowing that I was going to be okay, knowing that I was going to find some things to do and everything. The day after I moved in here, I started getting business transaction call things that are set up, business meetings and all. And I have 2 contracts that I am currently working on right now with marketing and promoting for some crowdfunding, which is absolutely amazing. I am more than excited about that because it keeps me in the industry that I love. Everybody seems to want to keep me around to do this thing. I don't know why. Maybe it's because y'all drink a lot too. I don't know. But I appreciate it, and I definitely want to be here. So my thing is, instead of going into something thinking it's going to be the scariest thing in the world, look at it as a new opportunity. And that's exactly what I did with this and looked at it just as an open opportunity with this. And doors are opening left and right. So that's mine. So I want to kind of leave the floor open on whoever wants to go ahead and talk next and say what you dealt with and how you've gone ahead and made it bigger. Jim, I'm going to put you backstage again, I swear.
Hey, I'm following your rules.
Okay, let me start. I think I'm the old man here in the room. And this will just kind of give you like a little bit of rundown of like where I came from as well. And so I've been collecting comics pretty much when I started when I was like 13 years old, and then wanted to have my own comic shop. But I ended up becoming a program analyst back in the 80s, and working for corporate America. It was really really good. I was making really super good money, but towards the end I was getting frustrated. I just wasn't happy. Right. So a friend of mine brought me into the cons, and I saw these people, like they were actually, this is like in the 80s already, so the comic book conventions, they're kind of going pretty strong, especially here in California. And I go, hey, I can do this. I've got an accounting background. I've got a programmer background. Maybe I don't have the business sense, but I can learn this, right? So I quit my job. And like you, Phil, I was starting all over from scratch. I wasn't sure if I was going to really make it or not, but I had the gumption to give it a try. Right? And it took me the whole 5 years to get everything together where I could breathe easily and be profitable enough to at least stay afloat. And so it's mainly perseverance and your passion to try and get it to work and do the research and the homework. So again, long story short, I meet Mom. Already on my way.
That wasn't me.
And I was going to get out of this business. And before I met Mog, I was actually in a studio, Curiosity Productions, where we did like comic books as well. And so I thought I was going to get out, right? And I met Mog towards the tail end of that. And then she contacts me about 1 year later and tells me that she's got this thing that she wrote up. She wants me to look at it and go over. We did that, and we started kind of getting into it, and that's where we connected. And then she asked me to be her manager. And I said, "Oh man, here we go again." Right? But it's like starting all over. But this time around, I'm more comfortable with it because I've gone through it already. I've resolved a lot of issues that have happened before. I've had to fight off people that have tried to take over my business or try to get me out of business. Bull crap like that. All kinds of stuff. Besides just handling straight business. Right. So I feel comfortable where I'm at. Maud is learning, and I've had to push her to take some steps forward, just so that way we can move forward. But it's one thing that I've learned, and in the hiring that I've done in the past, it comes down to passion and drive. Like you may not know that much about the industry, but I will hire that person that has that passion and drive because I know that they're going to be teachable. They're just hungry for information. And I think that's what it takes to be in business. And that's how we can see people that are even successful today without that kind of education that we expect them to have. It's not like from a doctor or a lawyer, but it's kind of like sending a bad signal as well. But at the same time, it kind of gives you some hope that maybe this is something that needs to happen in our society, just so that way we can be free a little bit more than we are today.
Exactly. Very well said, and I completely agree and believe in all of that, because it is all about going ahead and trying to make things better, and you always make yourself better to make other things better. Other people kind of look at it like, well, they want to make, hey, look, I don't like Jim, I want to make Jim better, so that's going to make the world better. That's not how it works. I need to make myself better to make Jim better to make the world better. That's how it works.
Right. You're as strong as your weakest link.
Exactly. So I greatly agree in that, absolutely, with what you were saying in that, because, and then starting off with something that you're scared to death with and you don't know, but as long as you put the work, the passion, the respect, the loyalty, the honor, I mean, these are all morals that everybody should have in life in general, but whenever you put that into your business acumen as well, people look at you differently. They don't look at you as if you have to be the best artist or the best manager or the best writer or anything like that. They want to look at somebody who has the passion in there to go, wow, whenever the flames really get that high, who's going to stick around on this one?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I agree with everything on that. They're having too much fun with this, Jim. Can you make that's a whole different topic.
Many have tried.
Go ahead. We'll make that next week's topic. That's going to be like a 2 or 3 month topic that we'll have to go over for quite some time.
We're going to turn into the Oprah Winfrey show. Today in our series of part 12 of our 36-part series.
All right, so who is next that wants to go ahead and say what they've got?
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
I grew up in Ohio. I had got my associate's degree when I was in Ohio out of high school in 1994. I wasn't really doing much. Worked as a graphic designer, was goofing around as a kid. And my brother was getting out of the military and said, "Hey, I'm moving to Florida. You want to move to Florida with me?" And I said, "Yes, let's do that." So I moved to Florida. A year into it, we're talking about mattresses. I slept on a mattress for the first month, and then the mattress popped, so I slept on the floor for a year. And moved with my brother in Florida because there wasn't 2 bedrooms in the apartment. It was just me and him. The 1 bedroom, he actually had a real job, so he got to stay in the bedroom with the actual bed, and I slept on the floor. It was fine. I was like 24, 5 years old, so I was dealing with my back wasn't too bad. So about 3 months into moving to Florida, I met my future wife. Came out of Florida with a degree and worked as a teacher for 2 years. High school, I worked as an art teacher in high school for 2 years as a high school art teacher. And my wife had a great job working for a child protection team. So we had decided after our daughter was born, our second child, we had a son and a daughter, to move back to her hometown. And her hometown is, I like to make the joke, it's a 1-horse town, and they shot the horse already. There's nothing. I'm sorry if anybody is listening from the town we're in. I apologize, but it's true. So when we in Florida, I was doing comic books, like some really small press comic book stuff, but nothing really. I was really more focused on making sure I was keeping my job as a teacher and a brand new father at the time. So I had my hands full. So when we moved up here, there was nothing to do, nowhere to go, and we moved up here. I was really lucky. We were really lucky. I didn't have a job. And it took me about 2 years to find a full-time job. While as I was doing that, I was substitute teaching, and in the process of that 2 years, I wrote my first book. I said, if I'm up here and there's nothing to do and nowhere to go, I'm going to write a book. And it was that idea that actually finishing from start to finish that book, they got to say, well, now I better start drawing and writing comic books, or I'm just wasting my time. So it was that process of the 2 years of writing a book, of being in a place where I didn't really know anybody. I was here for my wife and my kids, and eventually got a full-time job as an elementary school art teacher, which I'm still doing and I love. It was that idea of if I don't start doing this now, I'm just going to never do it. So about 4 years ago, started doing some small press stuff here and there, and said, why don't I just do this myself? There's, anybody can do it yourself. And really, it's the for me, it's not even the creating the book is the main goal, but for me, it's the process of creating those books. Some people love them, some people, you get critiques all the time, you get criticism all the time, but it's taking that criticism and knowing that every single bit of information you get, whether it's positive or negative, makes you better. So if it's positive information you get, it's oh, okay, I'm going to keep doing that and maybe even doing it more. If it's negative criticism you get, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to take that in and I'm going to really, really try to apply what this person was saying if you think they're a credible source to be able to better yourself. And I've always said that I'm doing it for a bunch of reasons. One, because I can't not do it. At this point, it's something that creators, we just do. And because in 50 years, and my kids, rummage through the basement of our house and they find the comics that great grandpa made, that's going to be a discussion that they'll have, and that's going to be something that hopefully they realize, oh, grandpa was weird because he wrote these weird stories, or grandpa was awesome, or grandpa was whatever it was, great grandpa, whatever it was. And really, quite honestly, while I am, the main goal is to do this full time, soon, fingers crossed, hopefully soon, really it's about making sure that I leave that thing for my family, for my family's family, for all the people that have come after me, to be able to have something that they can hold in their hands, say great grandpa, great grandpa, great great grandpa did. And for me, that's the driving force for what I do. Make $1 billion, great, let's do it. At the end, it's creating because that's what I have to do, and creating because I want to show the people around me what I could do.
And that makes a lot of sense with that, because it is true about, you got to have that constructive criticism on your stuff that you go ahead and look at going, if I'm getting this here that's saying that it's actually in a negative connotation, how am I going to improve on it next time? You almost take it as a challenge. You're like, well, if you think that was bad this time, wait till next time. I'll really go ahead and show you what I can do.
It ain't bad this time, next time. No, it's funny. Like I love feedback, positive or negative. I don't care what kind of feedback it is, because my saying is, I always say that there are a bunch of people that love Star Wars. There are a bunch of people that hate Star Wars. You never know where it's coming from. You never know what that person likes or dislikes. So if you're drawing a action thriller, but they like teen dramas, you're like, oh, I love this. I didn't like it at all. Great, no problem at all. I try to go by the rule that if they say only positive things, take it, let it feed your ego for a second, and then move forward with your day. If people have said only negative things, there's probably something else going on with them, that maybe it's not their thing, or maybe it has nothing to do with the book. It has to do with how they're reading it, or what they're reading into, or maybe nothing with the book at all. So criticism and all is, for me, whether it's positive or negative criticism, is always a learning experience to be able to move forward and be able to say, well, how can I use this to make me and what I'm doing better?
Exactly. Now, what I would like to do is I'm going to go ahead and, Wendy, I'm going to ask you the same question, because you have that secret sauce in your crowdfunding, and it is amazing that you have that, and because you have the following and everything, and everybody that just can't wait to help you out in everything that you're doing. So how did you get to that point? Did you have a bad experience that you were able to make better from that, or where did you get to this point?
For me, I grew up in a house where my mom was an oil painter, and she would do realistic paintings, and they were amazing. And I would try, and I would get so frustrated because that just wasn't my thing. I couldn't paint the way she did. And as a kid, I drew actually more like cartoony stuff, because it was the exact opposite of what my mom did. And then I could feel like, oh, look, I can do this too. I ended up, my husband and I got married really young, and that kind of took care of any art or fun, because we had so much to work and raise a family, because we were 19 and 20 when my daughter was born, and he was working 3 jobs. I was going to school, trying to get through. When, I started about, I want to say 3 years ago, doing the computer animation, and I was down to Dad's studio, and I started Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins 1, and that was in 2017. So there is actually a 2017 version of Naughty Fairies there's only I think I made 25 books, and I would take them to the cons, and I got so much shit for it because it wasn't drawn traditionally. It was a computer animated characters. And they would smile at my face, and then I had one artist take it and throw it into a box off to the side, and it got crinkled up, and I was like devastated. And I had a few experiences like that in that first year. And I said, okay, so obviously what I'm doing is not what the norm is, and it's not being received well. So what do I have to do to change it? So I went back through the story, and I reworked the illustrations, and I reworked the story. And in 2018, I launched the first one. And I had really good feedback, but I wasn't happy with it because I kept trying to make it something that originally it wasn't what I wanted. I was trying to make other people happy. I'm trying to make it look more cartoony. I'm trying to make it look more, less CGI. And when I did book 2, I pulled away from that and changed it because I wanted to be happy with the work. And from there, it just took off. So I think by being true to who you are, regardless of what artistic avenue or medium that you're working with, as long as you're honest with yourself, it comes across in the artwork and it's received well. I mean, I have people that make comments like, oh, that's cheating. And I'm like, well, not any more than hiring somebody to ink your art. You hire somebody to color it. I'm doing all of it. So how is that cheating? And I think I asked somebody, I said, so have you ever worked with, this kind of program? No. I go, oh, well, then I'm cheating. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That was my response, because I'm like, there's absolutely no point in arguing that point. This is the medium I'm using. I still draw. I still do sketches. I still, do all of that too. But I just find I can get my work done in the way that I want it to look, faster, more efficiently. I'm doing it myself. I'm not waiting on anybody. So I'm happy with it. But I had to just be honest with what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the difference. I kept working at it, persevering. I mean, I learned the program and put the first book out in 6 months. So, I mean, I was really proud of myself for that. And over time, even my editor's like, holy cow, your artwork has changed and evolved so much. And I'm like, well, because I'm doing it all the time. I'm really dedicating myself to it. And I watch so many of the live shows and people drawing and learning from them. And, it's a process. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do this once. And then, okay, now I should be a master because I've done it once. I don't get frustrated easily when it comes to any of these, different strategies and techniques that are being taught. I just keep going and working at it. So, I mean, that's kind of where I came from. I just didn't let somebody put it down because it wasn't their style, because video games are a multi-million-dollar industry. Like billions of dollars are made in video games, and you open up my comic and it feels like you're in a video game, especially the new stuff that's out there. I mean, that's the feel that I wanted, because I love video games so much. So that was it.
And that's great, because I will admit, because you do know, whenever I got on, I think I got on number 2 was the first one that I got from you, that I did the crowdfunding. And I don't know why, but whenever I got it, I wasn't expecting CGI. So whenever I got the book, I'm all excited. I'm like, I got the Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins. What is this? And I opened it up, and I was like, that's not your traditional art. I like it. I mean, it just really stands out to make it more unique. There's no other books that I have in my collection that are like that. And it's good to have that, because it does have a different feel to it. But you're absolutely right. Whenever you did number 1, because I have caught up on the series since then, number 1 has a totally different feel to it. And going to number 2, number 2 just has that natural, smooth, easygoing. It just seems like it was you doing it. It doesn't seem like it was you doing the other one with somebody over you going, nope, edit that. Nope, edit that too. Edit that.
And that's how I felt with book 1. I felt like, it wasn't my work, it was somebody else's, and this was my creation. So it was really hard, because I mean, nobody else that I know of. I mean, I'm sure there's other people out there doing this, but it hasn't been out there and it's not as public. So, yeah, I mean, I keep wanting to go back and redo book 1. And I'm like, if I go back and redo book 1, that's just going to slow down the process. I want to get to book 5 because I just finished book 4, and I just don't want to take the time to redo it. And I kind of want to leave it there as like, this is where I started and this is the evolution. So, and I think that's important because it shows as a creator and an artist that, you know, I am growing and I'm not just staying stagnant.
Exactly. And it kind of makes me want to bring up on a side point with that, because we discussed about the passion that's in there, and that really gets the attention of everybody. Everybody that's up here, David, I'm still getting to know you a little bit. We're actually going to get you on an interview on my show because we've already been talking about that. But I'm familiar with Offspring because I've been kind of keeping up with it on the sidelines and seeing what's going on with it, and I've seen you on some other shows. But I will say that with everyone else that's up here, okay, take Sean. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the hot seat on this one. You know, because you got a mouthful of food or whatever, so you're ready to talk on this one. So, so with you and Chuck doing Belial got my attention simply by the passion of the creators, because just as a story representation of what it is, it almost seems like it's been remarketed over and over and over. It's you know, it's that same storyline. There's a devil. He's trying to get out of hell. Yada yada. Blah blah blah. But it's the way that you and Chuck put your passion into talking to me about it, because Chuck flat out told me, he said, go to the webpage, get with my boy Sean, message him and tell him that you want to go ahead and get a copy of this book, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
So I message, and Sean's like, you know, would love to get you a copy of the book. I got to figure out how we're going to do this, because you and Chuck were not ready to go ahead and start, you know, moving the book around at that point. But I wanted a copy because I wanted to do a review. And the way that you presented it was what got my attention. So my point is, that passion that you put into the work that you do is what gets the fans' attention. That's what creates followers. Fans are great. Followers are what we're all going after. Followers are the ones who are going to go with every single project that you do. And they're not only going to go ahead and back you on it, those are the ones that are going to go ahead and repost it and share it and move it and tell the garbage man and tell the postman and tell, you know, the neighbors' kids that are down the street or whatever. Well, not about Jim's books anyway, but yeah, neighbors' kids down the street about the projects that are going on. So the whole point is, put that passion into your work and you get that kind of stuff. And I can go ahead and say, to move off of that, down with Mog and Mel, with Mog, she actually takes traditional characters and then turns them into Japanese samurai and different looks like that. It is amazing the mashups that she comes up with these things, and they're a whole different look. There's nothing traditional about them. Traditional in the aspect that she did the research on how the background should look, streamers that are going from on, you know, different ways on there, the coloring style that's on there, the way the armor is done, all that's done. But the way that she takes Darth Maul, or she takes different Star Wars characters and creates where they have that samurai feel, it really gives you the persona of, I've got something that someone else does not have. And it's great because that passion shows in the work. So that's in the artist work with that. So you're dealing with books, you're dealing with artistry work like that. Meredith, with your work that you've done, where you're actually going ahead and writing and talking and doing your shows and everything, you can definitely see the passion, hear the passion in what you're doing. So that's always there too. So what I'm trying to get to the point on this is, you show your passion in your work, and it really starts working out for everybody in the industry. It's not just a one-person, one-off, you know, this is a one-time shot that I'm going to do and I'm never going to touch this again.
Well, if you can't get excited about your own stuff, I don't think you have any right to expect anybody else to get excited about your stuff.
Exactly. I could not have said it better on that. Absolutely. That's exactly my point on that.
I get very excited.
You got to show the love to get some love.
Mel, don't get him started, please. Don't get him started. And he's sober tonight, so there's no telling what he'll say.
Yeah,
You might have to
everything I
create
say.
another show, Phil, and call it like After Dark or something, you know, or In the Dark.
That's
And I will say, at least I'm gonna go ahead and make the announcement because I don't know if everybody knows. Jim is on a new phone tonight, so he is no longer maybe in the freezer. We're gonna find out.
I am nowhere frozen.
are we not even in the kitchen?
You guys are doing this on your phone?
I'm in my bedroom. I'm nowhere near the refrigerator. I will never have to go to the freezer, hopefully. I went to the store and I said, what's the newest phone you got? And they said, it's this one over here. And I said, give me that one. They said, give me $1,000. I was like, let's talk about a payment plan. And, so now, yeah, I'm on a new phone. And they said, do you want to keep your old phone? I said, well, how much does it cost to keep it? And they said, $70. I said, there you go.
Now, for everyone that's here that doesn't know, half shows are hilarious to go watch because Jim spends about half the time of the show in his freezer, and I kid you not, because he'll put his phone in his freezer, he'll actually close the door, keep talking and everything while the phone's in the freezer. It is the greatest thing in the world. So you know, Eggos and whatever he's got in there while he's going ahead and carrying on the conversation.
Eggo waffles, Red Baron pizza.
I know. I'm going to have to cut the show in half. We don't have enough material to go ahead and go on for 2 hours now because we spent an hour. Yeah. You're killing me, Jim. You're killing me.
Well, at least it's in that way, not in another way.
And what did... Let's see. Lewis said, nobody can hate on Naughty Fairies. Aislinn and I have been an on and off item for a couple of years now. Don't let Lily see this.
It's true. The first time that he saw Aislinn, he's like, I am in love. She is beautiful. He's like, don't tell Lily. Because Lily's his character for Lily Demoness.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a crossover between those two, to be honest, just the way that he is with them.
I think we've talked about it. We just haven't had, I don't think we've had time to do much with it.
I will say before Lewis posts this up, and maybe I'll make it before he gets up here, he was the #1 backer.
#1 backer.
Yes.
For Naughty Fairies 4.
Number 4, yes.
#1. I'm surprised he didn't say it tonight.
I was surprised he didn't put that up there. I'm looking around. I kept going through the comments going, he hasn't actually put that up here? So, yeah, he'll remind us of that in every single other show, but he didn't do that tonight for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on.
He might be in the car.
So, that being said, whenever Wendy has her next project, which is going to be ClickCon, then someone else needs to be #1 to go ahead and knock Lewis out of that throne right there.
Jim will take 10.
Jim will take
10 everything. We have the covers on like 10. Hell yeah.
Now, Jim, technically, ClickCon is about 3 separate characters, so that's 30 that you'll be taking.
Hey, I don't even want to think about the variants. Because it's probably going to be more than 30.
But they are first time, so they're first appearances on all 3.
They are.
I'm going to corner the market on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, here we go.
Cosplay contest. I'm so excited about that. The ClickCon. We've opened up the cosplay contest for Sireness and Catnip and Might. So we're hoping to get some backers and some ladies or gentlemen, if they choose, to cosplay.
I was just going to say, I can't figure out if I want the cat ears or if I want the wings. I just can't figure out which set I want to use.
There's no wings on that one. Horns.
I saw the contest, Wendy, and I was just like, she needs like a fat grandma so that I can play.
Meredith, you're beautiful.
From the shoulders up.
Whatever you want to do. Get some horns. You're set.
I honestly think that Jim, Sean, and I can go ahead and handle all 3 characters. I don't think there's going to be a problem with that.
I think so.
I'll be Mike.
Oh my God, you guys! If you did something like what was it? Justin Timberlake and a couple other guys. They did the
yeah.
spoof on Single Ladies. You remember? Oh my God, you did that. I would die.
I think you guys
I
would be
die.
perfect.
They could definitely pull it off.
We definitely have the ability to wear the wigs with no problem.
Yeah, I need
Jim, we could get you some space funds. It'd be perfect.
I could probably, but if I really wanted to, I could probably do it.
Well, they're pink, so that's the only thing. Get some pink space funds.
We can spray paint his hair.
There we go.
You know, those are some cosplay covers I don't think that I would actually purchase. I'm just saying that out loud. If we actually did that, I don't think I would get the collection on that one.
I'll get
Maybe the big poster. Big poster.
that would be your new banner to hang up in the background.
There you go.
There we go.
A super sticker. Put your clown out.
What not to do in comics.
I am in the process of getting a green screen to go behind me, so yeah, I can have all kinds of fun with that.
You could be on the beaches of Hawaii.
Oh my goodness.
You could be in Delaware. You could be Jurassic Park.
We actually have a question in the audience. What? Sarah asks, how is promotion handled when you're more the script writer but trying to improve your art style?
How's promotion handled? You just got to be ready to talk about what you're doing. Be excited about it. Sometimes even the less polished art styles have a draw for some people. So if you can just tap into that, be excited about what you're doing, and then that will translate over. And then oftentimes people will invest in you. I know that when I started with Belial, and even before Belial, I had started with doing traditional stuff, and then I went to having a digital tablet where it wasn't on screen, and then I was able to upgrade to an on-screen digital tablet just because being excited about the properties that I was involved with got me to the point where I could get more excited and learn more things, and it helped drive me to improve. But part of that was just talking about what I was doing with other people and just helping to share that enthusiasm, and that fed back into what I was doing. So as long as you can feed that passion and into other people, it actually, I feel like it does come back as long as you're genuine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you promote your story. I mean, as the writer, you want to promote the story that you're telling. It's not just about the artwork. The artwork allows the story to flow, and it gives the visuals that go with it. But, you know, if you're doing the writing, you know, focus on sharing that out and promoting that aspect of it. And then you can always, if you're doing the artwork for it, then do the artwork for it. But eventually you might be able to have somebody else come in to free you up to do more writing.
And tailor
your focuses. If you want to focus more on art, then focus more on art, but share out your story. And then in time, you have more time to work on the artwork itself.
Yeah, tailor your social media posts to your strength. If you're more comfortable with your storytelling, make sure your posts are concentrated. Make sure it has like what the book is actually about, or give like a little teaser of the script. Even take a screenshot of a typed script that you have and post that. People get excited about every step, and your step that you're the most excited about, what your main input to whatever property you're doing, or whatever step that you're doing at that time, people will get excited for. So whether it's written notes, whether it's a sketch, whether it's a typed script, a colored page, introduce them to those steps and bring them along with you, and they'll get invested in your journey.
And I want to speak to that a little bit too, because you know, I've always, for the longest time, I just said that I'm a hot mess. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, you know, and I never wanted to embrace one title ever. I tried, it didn't work, because then, you know, you get this single-minded focus on the one thing, but you have all of these other passions that you want to pursue. And it's like, okay, well, how do I figure out how to bring them all together and be one world that is me? And that has been the biggest struggle. So I've embraced on my social media content creator because that is what I am. I do podcasts, I do writing. I'm working on my very first comic book, and actually that comic book is coming from a story that is in this anthology. So you're going to see that progression of prose to script to comic book to art. The thing is, I'm a frustrated artist. I don't call myself an artist because I don't consider myself one. I love to doodle and I have a certain vision in my head. And I would love to get myself like one of those Wacom tablets and flesh out some of these ideas and things. But at the same time, I'm a control freak and I seek quality because it's something that I've always done with writing, with publishing and editing and things like that. Even when I was a professional musician, it's just you go in front of people and you pursue perfection all the time. So it's like all of these things. Like, how do I bring it all together into one world? And so, like with your social media and stuff, um, it it's so hard to build up one account, much less many. And so if you are out there trying to brand yourself, brand it to the things that you love, brand it to what you do and follow those passions. And if you have one where you say, well, this is my professional account and stuff, then that's fine, but then you have that single-minded focus. For people like me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, where I don't want to be pigeonholed. It's like, you know what? It is what it is. This is what you're going to get. This is what I look like on camera. I'm not going to pretend for you. This is what my social media looks like. If you like me, you're going to follow me. But that's the point, is that people follow people. They don't follow things. I mean, I've backed a lot of, well, I can't say a lot, but I've backed plenty of books that I probably wouldn't have given a second look at, quite honestly, because it might not have been in a genre that I liked, but I love the person and I will support. Wendy, you're not, I actually want to see your book. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about other projects. But that's the thing. I connected to them, so I want to support them. And if you are a good person and you're passionate about what you do, people will latch onto that. They will support you and you will grow and it'll be organic. Don't be one of those jerks that go out there and spend money to get followers so that you can grow your social media. Because if you get caught, first of all, you're done. You know.
Can I see this from the other side? Because I actually artist first, and then a writer second, if I had to rank them, I guess. But as the writer of 98% of the stories, the comic books that I produce, I actually had to kind of do it the opposite way. When I script something, when I kind of bullet point out the story that I want to tell, the beats that I want to give out in my book, I'll usually have some just like a little post-it note, and I'll try to draw out their panels, and I'll say I'm not worried about it being Picasso. What I'm worried about is what emotion what emotion do I want to tell in this panel, and whether it's going to be a square or a rectangle or a circle or whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'll even take like a pen or charcoal is a great way to be able to not worry about messing up. Because you're never going to be able to erase it, and if you mess up so much, so you're trying to get the emotion out. For me, every single panel helps tell the story in a comic book, and what emotion are you trying to emote from that panel? So for me, it was kind of taking a step back from the art and saying, I'm not going to worry about it being the greatest panel that's ever been paneled in the history of panels. But what emotion am I trying to get out? And I've kind of had to step back from my art to be able to just kind of scribble on anger, or scribble on frustration, or scribble on whatever excitement or whatever emotion I was trying to get out. And sometimes it was just lines on the paper, but it eventually got me to whatever panel, whatever characters, whatever position, whatever perspective, whatever it was that I was trying to tell. Then 2 days later, I come back to it and go, oh, I can do that better. I can do that better. Let me scribble it again, and then I'll get a different angle on it. So it's a constant process, and sometimes you just have to say, I did it. I told that tells the story. Let me move to the next panel, or else I'll be here for 1,000 years on the same panel.
Right.
And Sarah said, I guess that carries over to scripting too. What emotion do I want to convey when promoting? And that is absolutely true. Promoting is kind of overlooked by a lot of people because they think, okay, I've got a great story, I've got great art, it's going to sell itself. It's just like putting it in an LCS. They're going to walk in. Yeah, they may get it if they walk in, but how do you get their butts in there? That's where promoting comes in. You got to get their butts in the store, and that's how you do it with that. Even with crowdfunding, you got to get them over there to go ahead and take a look at it and get a hold of it. And it's not a matter of just simply getting them over there and saying, this is great product, you want this one cover, and we're done. Okay, walk off, next please. You've got to go ahead and give that full attention to each and every person that comes in there whenever you're promoting. You've got to make sure that they feel like they are not only backer number 1, backer number 171, backer number 412. They want to know that they're actually Lewis, Phil, Jim, Meredith, whoever it may be. You want to know that you're a person, not just a number. So that passion has to be in there where you're actually showing that to every single person. So promoting has to be done that way.
Meredith is right that when you've got to kind of like pay attention and you want to develop that relationship with the person that comes to your table or no matter where you're at. Because like she said, if it might be something that I'm not interested in, but because this person gave a good impression on me, I want to take a look at what they're doing now, because maybe that is something I can get interested in because I like this person, right? And PR today, being able to make that connection is so important today than ever before, because people want to feel like you're not just after their money. You're not just trying to get something from them. It's not like not like in the 60s or the 70s where you can sell them something and then be gone with it, right? Especially in the business that we're at. We want the repeat customers, like what you're talking about, Phil, that you want those followers. You want those guys to keep coming back and coming back. It's going to be a lot easier for you to grow that way, that instead of trying to chase new customers all the time. So you want to develop those relationships so that way you will grow a whole lot faster, because like it was also pointed out, those people will promote you, right? And for Mog, that's like one of our biggest things is that we don't have that much work out there in the comic book field yet, but yet we've got a strong follower base that supports us all the time, that is willing to share our stuff and put Mog's work out there and yell out to the world and yell, hey, look at Mog's work over here. It's really amazing. It's great. That's what you want. And that will help you out in your marketing a whole lot more than a lot of these other things that you can do. Somebody told me that good news travels very slow, but bad news travels like a wild card. So if you keep working this good side of you, right, it will grow, and you'll get the kind of quality people that you will want to have that will back you up. That's what you want.
I agree. You want to surround yourself not just with your team and who you're working with, but your fans. You want to surround yourself with people who are positive and have the same energy and enthusiasm as you do about your project. And it really is about relationship building. Building your fan base is not just that, like you said, building a number. Like I've got 400 and whatever people that are following me on this site, but I only have a real deep relationship with, say, 35. But those 35 are diehard good human beings. And I think that's the important thing, is really having just nice, good humans around, because that builds you up and supports you and makes you feel good about what you're doing.
Exactly. And I see Sarah's been commenting quite a bit over here about things that are going on, and I saw that Wendy, you did put on there for her to reach out and talk to you. I'm going to go ahead and say as well, Sarah, reach out, talk to me as well, because I'm actually branching out, and that's what I'm doing as well as the promoting and the marketing for the crowdfunding as well. So if you want to know some stuff on that, let me know. And David, I'm going to go ahead and point out, because David said he's had trouble sometimes too. David's not on the panel, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a shout out real quick, because there have been some recent events that have happened that I've run into people, and their particular style screamed David fought, and I have gone ahead and put them in touch with him. And as I understand it, at least one, possibly two, should be working with him now on a couple of things. So it's not always just about doing things because it's contract or because it's you're actually the marketing director or something like that. Sometimes just a helpful hand, just to go ahead and say, I can point you in the direction, and then you go ahead and take it from there. If you want more detailed work on that, that's whenever you go ahead and do with something like that. But just to go ahead and say, Wendy does more of the CGI style, and I know this particular guy over here has got a new comic that would love to have a cross promotion, and he's doing CGI style. I'm going to put the two of them together. I'm going to say, y'all two need to talk. That's just what needs to happen with that. That's just like Sean and Chuck with Belial. There's already discussions. There's a lot of discussions in the wind about doing some form of crossovers or having someone else drawn in or something in the stories, because you're dealing with with the demon. So there's plenty of other things that could be brought into that I deal with on a regular basis. Then it doesn't mean necessarily that Sean has to take it, but there are ideas that maybe would go ahead and help with a cross promotion idea or just help along. So it's all about just giving that helping hand and saying, I don't have the power to go ahead and do this for you, but I can put you in touch with the right people. I'll go ahead and get you on this path, and then it's up to you to go ahead and go through with it.
You know, and I want to just speak to something that David wrote in comments here. He says, I'm just winging it and learning, putting myself out there, and it's working. You know, when we put ourselves kind of in a vulnerable situation, we're humbled, and people want to help. Essentially, a lot of people that I've met have wanted to help. You know, and there are going to be some jerks who are out there to tear you down, and they're just in an unhappy place. You have to shed them like, you know, bad skin. You know, I mean, seriously, you ignore those people and you focus on the people who are willing to give you a helping hand, and they do that because essentially you're good. I mean, if you're a jerk, nobody wants to help you. But if you're humble and you are saying, hey, I am in a position where I want to learn, and I think I can do that from you. I mean, you're stroking ego there too, but at the same time, people want to help.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true.
Now, I want to go ahead, let me see. Okay, Chuck's Raw Reviews is here, which means Chuck is in here watching, and I've been waiting for Chuck to get here because I know he said he might be in here later. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Chuck right now, since he is in here, for what he did last week. Because he took the reins and went ahead and ran Unscripted while I was not able to be here. And I greatly appreciate it, but it wasn't only that. Chuck could have said anything he wanted to on the show and could have just done anything he wanted to on the show. And he did have a lot of fun, and I have no problem with that. But he actually said some things about me that kind of had me sitting over here going, damn, I actually make that much of a difference here. And it made me feel really good. And it wasn't one of those things where he was doing it because I'm paying him to be on here. Because Chuck, that check is going to bounce. I'm just letting you know. But it's a matter of it's just the respect that was given on there. So I want to go ahead and give that respect back and say, Chuck, I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for taking the reins on that. And if you ever need me, I got your back too, brother.
It's a good example of being generous, being genuine, and just overall just being ready to connect with those people. You never know how they're going to be able to reach out and help you down the road, because you don't know if the person you're helping today has enough drive and dedication to leap forward, whether it's a chance encounter with somebody else, but they'll remember you. And if they remember you, it's always beneficial to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like with Meredith saying that she's working on her book, I'm actually working on a project on my own as well. Some of you do know about this, some of you do not. I did not have a chance to work on it while I was up north with situations that were going on. So now I can actually start working on some things here. So I'm going to be scheduling that in. And I do have a couple of people who are threatening to come down here and hover over me until I get some work done. So I need to start working on that to go ahead and start showing something. And I've also got plenty of support from people wanting to help me out with this. That's showing me right there that this is a community. This is not just an industry where everybody's going in here just trying to make money. Money is great and we need it, yes. But the support between the creative team members is just, you can't replace that by any means. It's just something that you cannot do without. So you can draw more strength off of support than you can off of a dollar bill. That's just how that works with that.
Yeah, I've been in this now for like over 30 years, and I'm not saying that they didn't have the support back then as well. I mean, they did, but the support that is being given today is a lot more than ever it was. So this is, to me, it's a great time to be in, a great time to do these crowdfunding projects as well. Yeah, so definitely go for it.
And like just listening to all of you guys talk, because you guys are all creators and writers, it's just very inspiring because like I don't have a book yet, so it makes me just really want to just go ahead and get a book out. People have been, requesting, hey, at least compile your work and so I can buy a book of your compilation. And I was too scared to do it, And we were just discussing this yesterday, like Belle and I. But just listening to all of you guys is so inspiring. I feel really humbled.
But I will tell you right now, Mog, that if you do, you don't have to worry about being scared about doing something, because normally if I were to come straight into this and say I want to go ahead and do a book, I'd be scared to death because you don't know what you're getting into. You don't know how it's going to be accepted. Meredith, I know, feels the same way or felt the same way. But now she's getting the support. I'm getting the support. I mean, look at the smile on Wendy's face. She already knows. She's like, oh, Phil's going to go ahead and do this book. Meredith's going to do this book. That she already knows it's going to happen. So if you need the support for anything, you've got people who will support you. It'll be everybody on this panel. It'll be everybody on other panels. It'll be the audience members, whoever you need. This is the greatest group of people I have ever dealt with, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
You know what, Mog? You're going to be your own worst enemy. All right. If you sit there and you say, I don't know, I'm scared and stuff like that, you have to just say, excuse the language, but fuck it. I'm just going to do it and put it out there. That's what beta readers are for. That's what your alpha readers are for. That's what your friends are for. They're going to give you feedback before you put it out there in the public. But nobody's ever going to see it if you don't let it go.
So that's where I come in. So that's why
there you go, Mel. Do it.
Pushes her. Like the first time we did a con, right? And all we did was we just got a table. We weren't even going to sell anything, right? Because I needed to get my feet back in the industry to see what was going on. So I just said, we're just going to do this show, see what it's like. Right? But I had her do 2 panels, and she was so nervous, right? Me, I had no problem speaking in front of the public, but she was so nervous, right? But by the end of the second panel, when it finished, she was flying like a kite. People were just like coming up to her, telling her, oh, that was so great. I love listening to you. We got back to our table. There was a crowd of people there. They were thanking her again. I couldn't shut her up for a whole week.
Yeah.
That's great whenever you have the support and you're able to do that, because I haven't done my book yet, my show. Does everybody actually realize that I didn't start this thing until March? March is whenever I started doing this and actually doing hosting and everything. And I see the look on David's face. He's like, holy crap, really? Only March?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I so a lot of my guests whenever I get them on there, because I know whenever Mog and Mel and I talked after y'all's interview, they found out that I hadn't been doing this very long, and their jaws were kind of on the ground as well. It's not about the training or the experience or the education. It's about the passion that you put into it, because I put so much passion into my work. This is not about me and my show. This is about every single spot that's here right now. This is about every single spot that's in over here on the audience. That's why I do this, to go ahead and give everybody the exposure they possibly could need to go ahead and survive in this. And in doing so, it's actually pushed me up higher, and now it's moving me over into where I'm going to do my first book. I never would have thought about doing that, ever. And I could be published by next year, is what my goal is, to be published by next year. I mean, I'm more than looking forward to doing that.
Great. You're going to have to let us know so we can help promote you as well, Phil. Definitely, yeah. We talked about this yesterday because we've been wanting to do something, and we've got our own characters that we've had in our head, and so we do want to put up our own book. I'm working with somebody, another friend of ours that wants to put another online con up, but it's going to be different from what everybody else is doing. It's going to be geared more towards the storytelling, a little bit more closer to the writers, or to give more of an online experience to people that come there, that they don't just come there and shop and then leave. Come down here, listen to the stories that people have to share about what they're working on, or maybe something that they just came up with. Right. So hopefully I can get some of you guys on there as well. But at that time, that's when I want to introduce a book of ours, right? And we're just going to, right now, we're just calling it Angels and Demons. And hopefully I can get a little snippet of a story in there of one character that we're trying to help. And the rest of the pages will be just kind of like pencil artwork, right? So that'll be the first book that we're going to try to put out, and we'll see how that goes. We're always trying to grow, trying to make things happen. We've also got there's a team of girls that we kind of mentor. They call themselves Studio Mogwarts, and they're still kind of there, but they're kind of like drifting in their own directions now. But we're still kind of like together loosely, so we still help promote each other. And it's good to give kind of like that mentorship, so that you help bring these other people to find their way into the art community. So it's kind of like what you're doing, Phil, in having a show for everybody and promoting them. So this is kind of like our little way in helping them as well.
Well, if you get to the point where you could use an extra host in there, let me know, and I'll see if I can get scheduled in there with you.
You're in.
Absolutely, I would love to do that. I would be honored to do that.
Now, Wendy, can you speak a little bit more about ClickCon, because I've actually got an event too that I think is before yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I have to be careful what I say, because a lot of things are still under wraps. But yeah, what we're doing is we're kind of modeling it after what I did in January. In January, before COVID, January 1st, I launched the Naughty Fairies Comic-Con, and it was a virtual Comic-Con experience. So it was way before anybody was really doing this. This was not happening. And I did it on Kickstarter, and my kind of my tag was, it's all the con swag without the travel, without the expenses, without the table fees. And we had badges, lanyards, stickers, magnets, prints, con bag, you name it. We had the t-shirt, we had con exclusives, and we did a swimsuit pinup book in January, because everybody does it in the summertime. So I thought, let's do it earlier. And when COVID hit was actually when I was doing fulfillment. So March, everybody was starting to get all this con swag, and here they weren't able to go to con. So it really kind of filled a void for a lot of people, and it made people happy. And it was a really, really positive experience. Now, at that time, I didn't have StreamYard. We didn't have Zoom calls on the regular. We didn't have Google Meets. We didn't have any of that. So I didn't have the technology available at that time to do what we're doing right now. So So what QuickCon is kind of taking the framework of what I did, all the con swag and exclusive book, and creating more of a con experience with panels, the cosplay. We're doing the cosplay show. We're going to have an artist alley with, artist drawing. And we're really excited about all the different things that we're bringing into this particular Kickstarter. So we're just taking what I did and kind of putting it on steroids. And I'm excited. It's going to be so much fun. Like I said, CB Zane and Tom Hutchinson and we all have our series. Mighty Might is from CB Zane's Scorpiana. Tom Hutchinson has Critter, and Catnip is one of a spinoff character from his. And Sireness has actually been in 2 of my books for Naughty Fairies, and she's actually a villain. So we're taking her and exploring that character, which I'm super excited about because I just love villains. And if you've got a really good villain, it's fun to explore a different side of them, and it's not all superheroes and spandex or glitter and fairy wings.
And if you want to know more about QuickCon, I'm actually going to have Wendy, CB, and Tom on my show on the 20th on Demon Phil's Hell of a Show. So definitely be looking for that one, because as I understand it, we're going to have a little more information that's going to be given out on there, and maybe even a reveal. That's all up to that's all on Tom on that one. I'm not saying a word. I don't even know anything.
I'm not saying anything because I don't want to get in trouble. Tom knows everything.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
At the end of this month, the 29th and the 30th, we're going to have an end of summer bash, and it's going to be under the Indie Event banner. So it'll be like Geek Insider, Comic Book Advocates. It'll be Indie Folds. We're all involved with promoting that. But it's going to be very, very much comic book centric. So not so much prose, all comic books. And what we're doing is the first day, Saturday, is going to be kind of your panels, your interviews. We want people to bring their own show. Phil, you were in the last one, where you did an after-hours show, and you are more than welcome to do that again if you'd like to be involved. And then what we're doing on Sunday is something a little different. We are asking the comic book creators to create up to a 3-minute video that kind of pitches their book. And then once we do that, they are actually going to be in a second StreamYard simulcasting where they can do a meet and greet live and sell their books right there, then and there. It's like while you're talking to a person, if they're interested in your pitch, if they like what you do, you have an opportunity to DM each other and sell your books right there. So, a lot of people, they already have their PayPals, and they can do their fulfillment directly to the comic book creator.
That's
so
awesome.
that's what we're doing. We're doing that as a two-way. We're trying different things, but because I think that's the secret sauce that's missing from a lot of these is the opportunity to sell. And if this works, it's probably going to be something that we carry on because we have another one planned. It's called tentatively Night of the Dread, and that is going to be very close to Halloween. And I understand, and I hope the world is open. And Phil, if you don't mind, letting me speak about that a little bit.
Go right ahead.
It's going to be 3 ways that this can go. We can do live streaming. If the world is open, you can be kind of like the event ambassador where you can live stream from there. We'll just send you a link. Or you can send in a video clip and we'll play that. And that is going to be horror based. So David Faught, if you're listening, we want horror, and that event is not going to be just comic books. It's going to be, we're trying to get Full Moon Features. We're trying to get a few directors there, maybe a few directors from movies that are on the Shudder streaming service, comic books, actors, writers, so that's going to be open up to more of the entertainment side, not just comic books. But the one at the end of this month is just comic books. So anybody on this panel, if you're interested, let me know. I'm filling in spots right now. I am the keeper of the calendar again.
that horror show, I know a couple people, including myself, and if you're looking for like actors and stuff, I know Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster on the Munster, was desperate for work.
Absolutely.
But no, that in all seriousness, I'm sure he would do it.
Yeah. You know what? We're trying to get Charles Band from there. We've got. I could probably reach out to John Lachago. He's the one who did Blade, the Iron Cross. He was the director of that. That was just released. So, I mean, we've got a lot of people. There are more people that I want to reach out to, but definitely horror. Keep that in your calendar. I haven't decided if it's going to be like on Halloween weekend because I don't want to compete with anybody. So I'm thinking maybe the weekend before. I don't know.
If it's horror, is it okay for me to go ahead and send the invitation to my ex-wives?
If you do that, I'm gonna have to send an invitation to my ex. All right. I don't know if I want to go there.
Speaking of the Blade, the Iron Cross,
face off and start screaming and stuff like that, because that might work.
Going back to Blade, the Iron Cross, I'm actually friends with the writer of that story, Sean Gabarine. He wrote all the Puppet Master books for Action Lab, Danger Zone, and currently on Full Moon. I'm friends with him. I could hook you guys up.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this up here because this has to happen. Y'all have talked about this. This needs to happen.
This week, it'll come out this week, folks. It'll come out on August 13th, which is a Thursday. We're going to do it on Thursday the 13th as opposed to Friday the 13th. We won't get sued. Or we can do it Friday the 14th. But anyways, yeah, we're going to, David, now it's happening. It's out there. It's live. I announced the date, so get ready because it's happening now.
Yeah. What's it called, Jim?
What?
Do you have a name for it?
We don't have a name.
Jim and David's Horror Cast. I don't know.
Jim and David with the whole not a W. Yeah, Jim and David talk horrors. Or David and we'll do it alphabetical. So we do David and Jim. That way everyone will blame him first.
Yeah. Meredith's been written it like 15 times. Let's just go ahead and say it's Jim and David's question mark.
David and Jim's Mystery Podcast.
You don't have a lot of time to be putting that together there, dear.
Oh, trust me, we got hours of material. It's all up here. As long as I'm not drinking, we'll be fine.
Yeah, but you got to get through all of the clown red tape up there to get to the horror stuff.
Oh, so much clowns. Love clowns. Hell yeah.
I love horror romance. Sarah Weaver. I love horror romance. I don't know why.
Kind of what my comic book's going to be.
I thought your comic book was about the pantsless and pizza and...
No, Pantsless Pizza is a different project of which I have not spoken of yet, Jim. Shh.
Oh, yes. The reveal's coming soon.
You can't tell him anything.
See what happens when it's over?
Where is Tom Hutchison whenever I need him to jump on here and be like, Jim, shut up?
He won't even think I'm talking.
Exactly. So, Joshua Main said the totally rad horror life of Jim and David.
Oh, yes. I love that. That should be a reality show. We should move in together, David.
Exactly.
That is a good title.
That's a good title, yes. It doesn't roll right off the tongue very easily, but yeah, it's definitely it tells the story.
Oh yeah,
definitely. They know their stuff, and then David can draw the horror stuff amazingly well. And I'm going to go ahead and give David a shout out right now because I know I've talked to him about it, and I may have mentioned it on other shows. The evolution of David's drawings over just the past few months has way surpassed what he even sees on there, because I keep telling him what you used to have and what you have now is a night and day difference. Not that it was bad in the beginning, it's just gotten so much better. And he keeps tackling new projects where he's trying new different things, and getting out of his wheelhouse is actually a good idea because he's getting even better with it.
I love the stylized stuff that he's doing right now. The stuff he's been posting recently is dope. I really, really am into it.
I agree. In fact, I think that because I know David just had a cover on Naughty Fairies 4, I think he needs to do something with her on future projects. Hint, hint. Yes, yes.
You got it.
Yeah, his first Totally Rad cover is about to be. I'm printing right now, so it should be coming out a week and a half or so.
Okay. Now, is he on Zero or on the summer special?
Summer special.
Okay, summer special. Okay. Well, you've got so much stuff going on, I never would know which project we're actually talking about.
You know, I'll be sitting here one week, and I'm like, what am I going to do this week? And then I'll start a whole new book, and then that'll come out before the books that I already planned out for, and then it's like, I really got to get organized. It's like October, I was supposed to do Roxy #1 and Neon #1, and now that turned into Neon #1 and Violet #4. And Roxy Summer Special is technically the #1, and now I have a Cavewoman book that's coming out in a week. And then I got a 70s book that's called Deep Throats that's supposed to be coming out. That means stuff wasn't talking about for a year now. And then, yeah, I mean, it's coming out. You know, all this stuff is coming. It's just it's very sporadic, I guess.
I want to know when Mog's book's going to come out.
Oh man, the pressure.
Like I said, it's just going to be an introduction, so it's we're looking at November.
Yeah, oh, see, he gave me a deadline already.
we just had it officially on the show, so we're going to be all ready at November.
Did you see the look on her face?
Come on.
Don't show your fear.
I'm just going to have to sneak it out there without her looking.
Sorry, Mog. I didn't mean to out you like that.
Well, now I have a new project.
You have a
new other project.
Put on their release dates like deadlines terrify me, y'all.
Yeah.
I need them.
Sarah, you're like me. We have commitment issues.
Yeah, so you think about it, like if that's going to be a 22-page book and count the number of weeks from now to then, I'm not even sure we have enough time if I'm going to tell her that we got to do like 1 page a week. We need to be enough. And then still do all the other commitments that we have right now. And there's some pretty big ones there that we got to do.
So everybody on here,
if you guys also like need support in any way we can, please reach out to us. We will support you.
And on the flip side of that, everybody that's on here that's watching right now, everybody that's on the panel, if you see that Mog is on social media and she's taking time away from working, go remind her she's got a book that's due November 1st.
Oh my God.
We're going to have to create a meme for her, too.
Oh, man.
Practice.
Man.
Well, you know what I did? I threw you totally under the bus so that I didn't have the deadline. So I make no apologies.
Oh, that's okay. I know the banner you're under up there, and I know they've got a deadline for you too. Trust me.
You know, I need those deadlines. I absolutely need them.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, if left to my own device, I would probably just sleep the day away or, you know, whatever.
Deadlines driven.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, and I have to hold myself accountable. I have to be like the asshole boss to get stuff done, especially if it's my own. I have no problem working on anybody else's stuff, but when it comes to mine, it is terrible. And I would love to hear from you guys, like what you do to stay on track, because I am not good at cracking the whip on myself.
I hear because we were talking a little bit about like all the ideas that pop in your head, and you're like, oh, now I want to do that. Now I want to do that. Now
Yes.
what I do is if something pops in my head, I will write it down. I will get out like wherever I am. I will get if I have a character in my mind, I'll draw the character. I'll get the basic plot points down, and then I will set it aside. So I know that I've done the basic work to be able to have whatever it is, a one-shot, 100-page graphic novel, a miniseries, whatever it is. I've done the minimal amount of work to be able to remember that idea, and then I set it aside. So when I get done the next issue of whatever it is I'm working on, I go, oh, I remember that thing that I wrote down 3 months ago. Let me go grab that up and see if I can start that right now. So I don't fight the urge to sidetrack myself. I embrace it. I dive in, and I just sidetrack myself, get it all written out so I know that I've got it so I won't forget it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. I did it. I can go back to my thing now.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get it out, and then it's out in the universe, and you're not holding on to it anymore. It's not obsessing in your mind while you're sleeping, and it kind of frees you. So, yeah. But hold yourself accountable to say, okay, I have to do this and this and this week. And you just buckle down and you get it done.
You know what's? It's almost like I work from home, and it took me a really long time to not give myself permission to go to the refrigerator every chance I get. You know what I mean? It's like
I know
that.
exactly what you mean.
Discipline. It's like, okay, I'm working from home. The refrigerator's there, and the couch is there, and the TV's there, and and so getting a schedule has helped me. But again, it's like because I work from home and I work for other people, and I take on these other freelance jobs and stuff. When it comes down to my own, by the end of the day, I'm exhausted, Yeah. So I'm trying to shift my stuff around. So maybe I need to just work on my stuff first, at least give myself an hour, and then the deadline stuff will come later. And I know that's got to be done. And for some reason, I cannot. I have a hard time putting myself first, and I'm frustrated by that. I know that I should, but I'm the jerk that will give my oxygen mask to somebody else before I save myself a lot of times. I think it's a personality trait. I'm nearly 50. You'd think I'd figure this. I figured it out. I just haven't done anything about it.
Meredith, like I know exactly what you're going through because you're exactly like me. Every day, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just do one page, man. Just one page of whatever I want to do, and I never do it. Everybody's needs come first. I don't care. And then people ask like, oh, what do you like? I think it's kind of like our trait. Like we don't know what we really like because it's like so hard. It just makes us happy when you're happy,
That's it exactly. That is
finally so finally when you get the test, hey, you don't need anybody's permission. There's no one watching. Just do it. Oh, it's so hard. It's like, man. So I don't know the answer. I mean, Mel's really good. I think there's also other types who doesn't give a shit. Like I don't care. I'm just gonna do what I like. When I see those people, oh my god, like I'm so jealous. Like, yeah.
Think about all the people that you've worked your butt off for. How happy they would be to see your thing. So you're not just doing it to make yourself happy. You're seeing all the people that you've worked with and you've helped be able to see your thing finally created. You're making them happy also. And by proxy, making yourself happy by finishing your thing. You're being selfish and selfless all at the same time.
Yep.
There's nothing more fun than making people happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, Universal Guest Relations went ahead and put on here that Mog has a new AASN show that we can remind her all throughout about it because your show does start on Sunday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yes.
Whoa.
And because that's a first show, and because it is Tom's channel, we'll be auctioning this piece off in celebration of Twitter's 10th anniversary.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Still being worked on, but yeah, hopefully we'll get a good response to that, and everybody will enjoy the show as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for that plug.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, whoever you are. Joshua.
Now, when and where is that going to be?
Artist Alley Shopping Network, AASN, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I think that's 9 o'clock on East.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Woo!
Gotta write that down.
Yes, definitely don't want to miss that. Artist Alley Shopping Network has actually been adding on to the roster quite a bit because they're trying to get more and more of the artists, giving them time up there, not only to draw, so that you can get to know the face behind the artwork, which I love about this, because you can actually get to know them a little bit more and figure out who the people are and what makes them tick to go ahead and draw what they draw. And it's very interesting to get into there to see, with the exception of Jim, of course, because we know getting into Jim's brain is very, very dangerous to do.
We don't have the Writers Alley Shopping Network, unfortunately, so I guess I'm on my own.
Everyone knows
we end up with me rambling about some 80s movie towards the end. Just drinking and like, let me tell you another movie that inspired me to write this naked lady page.
Everyone that knows me and seen the shows know I give Jim hell on this because, trust me, Jim gets his shots in too.
He likes it. That's why he keeps coming back.
Since episode 1, since the episode 0.
Yes.
The prototype Unscripted, and I've made it this far. I haven't been canceled yet.
I like sober gems.
So the way that the Unscripted actually started was I had an interview with Jim on Facebook, and if you know on my show with that, I can't have Jim show his covers on there, so I can only show like 4 covers on the show.
4 of my
Yeah, I told everybody, I said, if you want to see more of the interview and more covers, you got to go straight over to YouTube. After we're done, we'll be doing a secondary show. So he and I went over there and we finished the interview. And then we stayed on for, it was about, what, 3 hours, 3.5 hours we were on?
This might have been the reason why my phone started overheating.
It just broke it. That one time overdid it.
Yep.
Never recovered.
When we did that, we just decided, you know what? Maybe creative team members would like to go ahead and have a safe place to come in here, have some fun, and kick back and relax after a long week. So that's why we decided to go ahead and create this, and it's been going for 13 episodes now.
Fantastic.
Wow.
13.
13.
It has definitely been interesting. We've had some fun with some guests on here. We always end up laughing. There is not one show that's gone by where we have not laughed. There are some where we're crying, we're laughing so flipping hard. It's definitely been a fun ride, and I thank everyone for going ahead and helping keeping this where it is and keeping it just by going ahead and supporting and being here. So I thank everyone for that.
Fantastic.
This is something I definitely want to keep doing for everybody. My show that I do during the week, that's because I do the interviews and try to get the exposure out there. This show is all about getting in here and just having fun. We'll kick around some ideas and talk about some topics, but we do like to have a lot of fun, and we do interact with the audience a lot.
Yeah, I'll be here as much as I have a spot, man. I'll try to make room. You know that.
But we do. We have a lot of fun, and I do appreciate that. And I will say this, that I am actually going to be announcing tomorrow, but I will go ahead and let everyone know now. We have kind of exclusive on here. I am going to be doing 2 interview shows a week is going to be on my schedule. So that'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That will begin after next week because I still have responsibilities and guests on there that I need to take care of. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. That'll be my interview time that I'll have with Demon Phil's Hell of a Show. Unscripted will still be at the same time, same day, Saturday, 11 p.m. EST. I am adding a new show on Friday afternoon. I'm trying to figure out the banner that I want to go under because I want to actually work with somebody on that. Meredith, I'm probably going to be getting with you on this one. We've been discussing a little bit. I want to do a show that's going to be called Demon Speak. All that it is a 1-hour show where any crowdfunding that's been going on for the week, I go ahead and promote the hell out of it. 1 hour. So if anybody's got current projects that are going to be going on, make me aware that I know absolutely it's on there, because I'm going to be going through Kickstarter and just saying, go to this one, go to this one. This one has this one has these tiers, jump on it. This is where they sit from last week. Just giving a basic rundown because I want to help as many people as I possibly can. I'm not trying to make it where it's competitive with anybody. So in the situation where Wendy was up there with Speedy, with Tom, they all had Kickstarters running at the same time, I'd be talking about all three. I'm not going to be, picking and choosing on that thing. I'm just going to go ahead and, these are the ones that are up in here that I know about. These are the ones I'm promoting. So that's the show with that. And I would really like to go ahead and get that one going. So that's kind of what my schedule is going to look like. And in between there, I will be doing 1, possibly 2 live book sales a week. Those.
So I'm going to give you a word of caution.
Okay.
With this. All right. Having kind of purged a few of my shows, if you are going to be creating a book, don't make me give you a deadline because I will. You need to make sure that you set aside time to write the book instead of the shows that talk about writing the book.
Yep.
Really?
That is why for the first time, I'll actually have Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday off.
Okay. All right. As long as you're doing that, because trust me, I know, you get excited and you're like, there's, because it's endless. It's endless how many people talk to it. It's endless how many of these, Kickstarters and Indiegogos, all of this crowdfunding and so many people. We want to help so many people. Mog knows it. I know it. Everybody in this room knows it. We want to help, but it cannot be to the detriment of your creative.
Exactly. But that's why I had to have the structure set up with the actual schedule, because until this point, it's basically been, oh, you want a show? Let me go ahead and push it over here and I'll get you in. Okay, you want a show? I already have this week full, but I'll go ahead and put you in on Saturday. I did what I could, and at one point, I was doing 7 and 8 shows a week. Really will push your limits on that. I got it done, and people got their exposure, and I am more than happy about that, because I will say this: every single show that I have a person on there is some form of either networking or sale that happens on every single show that I've done. Every one. And I am amazed by this. Sometimes it happens during the show, sometimes it happens in the green room afterwards, but there's always something that happens where something happens on there. It may only be one person, but you know what? That's my thing that I look forward to. It actually shows that I need to keep doing this. That's my reason for keeping it going on this. Now, above and beyond that, my reason to keep going for this is because of everybody that's in the audience, everybody that's on the panel, everybody that's on the bench waiting to come on the panel now, because apparently everybody wants to be on the show, which is great. But this is my reason for wanting to do this. So Meredith, I agree with you on that, and that's why I set up the schedule the way that I did, so that I can be structured, because if I miss Sunday, for some reason I can't work on it, then I'll be damned if Monday I'm not working on it for certain. So I will definitely be putting forth some effort, because I need to put together, at least because I'm having to write the whole thing all over again and all, I'm going to have to go ahead and put into it where I'm going to have to set myself goals per week to go ahead and have done. That way I hold myself accountable. It won't only be me holding accountable, because I know there are some people that want to know what I'm doing on a scheduled basis as well, so they can hold me accountable as well. Chuck is one of them.
Wow. Writing is like literally making your dream just come true. Like whatever you're inside, it's just coming into reality. That's where it all starts. You know what I mean?
My advice is don't George R. R. Martin
What a lot of people don't understand is I'm surprised that I haven't had this question asked pretty much almost ever. What's the name? My name was Demon Phil. Where did that come from? Nobody really asked. They just kind of go with it. So Demon is short for Demonstricus. Demonstricus Dark is the name of my lead character in my book that I started over 15 years ago. So whenever I first started onto Facebook on this account, I had Demonstricus Phil on here. I was on a Coffin Comics show, and Brian looked over and he said, I'm just going to call you Demon. You know what? Whenever Brian calls me Demon, it sticks. So I am now known as Demon Phil, and it has stuck ever since, and it seems to fit me pretty well. But I'm telling you right now, that's the name right there goes with my character, which is why my book has to come to fruition. I have to make this happen.
Wow.
You will. It'll happen.
Oh, definitely. I know y'all are going to hold me accountable. I definitely know that.
Yeah.
Sean's got to go, guys.
Yeah, I gotta go. I promised my kids I would play a game after a couple hours, and we were still doing this. So I'm gonna have to say, peace out, guys. It's been fun. I'll see you guys again. All right.
Thanks for being here.
Take care.
All right. See you later, guys.
He's still there. Oh, there he goes.
There we go. He was working. But I appreciate every one of y'all for being here tonight. I don't want to keep y'all too much later on this. We've had a blast with this and gone over topics. Had a lot of fun. Episode 13 was an absolute blast all over again. And thank you for my 4 new people who showed up on this one. And hopefully this doesn't push you away from ever showing up again or looking at any of the other shows.
I'm never going to leave. I think I'm just going to stay right here.
That's what I said.
And Jim hasn't left. That's for certain. I think he's only missed, 1 episode or 2?
2. I missed 2.
Yep.
I've done more than Tom.
What?
That's bragging rights right there.
Wow.
Well, Tom's got the bragging rights because he's actually been on my show 6 times on interviews.
Oh yeah, on the interview.
Yeah, and he'll be making number 7 on the 20th. So he'll remind me of that. Trust me.
I gotta start doing more books so I can start getting more interviews with you.
That's the incentive right there.
But it is. I mean, I have a blast with this, and like I said, I do this for everyone that's on the panel, for everyone that's in the audience, for everyone who's going to be watching later on. This is just the easygoing part of the week that you just go, I've had a week and everything. I'm ready to go ahead and cut loose on this one. This is your place. So if you ever want to come up here and you ever want to sit on a panel, just reach out to me, let me know, and we'll see if we can make it happen. It may not happen the exact week that you send it, but we'll definitely see what we can do, because I can have up to 10 people on here. I do not want to have up to 10 people on here.
Oh my God.
I mean, as long as Jim's on here, I can only handle like 3 or 4 others. That's it. But thank you everyone for being here. I definitely appreciate all of y'all for being here, and everyone that's in the audience that stuck it out the entire time. Thank you. 13 episodes in, and I love that it's that number, especially with Demon Phil on there. So 13 is our lucky number on this one. We're going to go ahead and just keep going with this, and we're never going to be stopping the show until everyone tells me they're tired of it. You did see at the beginning, there's a video on there that shows the new branding, because I am doing a rebranding on this. If you missed it, you need to go back and watch it, because it took me all flipping day to come up with 22-second video on there. And I hope to go ahead and upgrade at some point with someone's help, because I need help with this.
Well, it looks fantastic.
Well, thank you. But definitely, y'all go back and watch that. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the show and the expansions we're going to be having. If you thought you've seen the demon so far, you ain't seen nothing yet. Until next time, we're going to go ahead and shut this one down for the evening. But thank you, everyone, for being here. We're going to go ahead and say good night. And if you will go ahead and go through the audience, not the audience, if you go through the panel here, starting with Wendy, tell us where to find you and what you've got going next.
You can find me on Facebook at Naughty Fairies, and on Instagram, Naughty Fairies. We have ClipCon. ClipCon's coming out on September 12th on Kickstarter, so be watching. There is a ClipCon group available on Facebook that you can add and get all the behind the scenes stuff and early release. So, yeah.
Very cool. Meredith?
Cool. You guys can find me at meredithlawson.com. I even spelled out my name here. No butt beer tonight, but I did mention it. So yeah, you can find my social media there, or you can do a Google search and I pop up all over the place. Please do.
And before you go ahead and finish up with this, because I didn't mention this tonight, Meredith, I want to go ahead and say butt beard.
Butt beard.
David, go ahead.
Hey,
Everybody knows what the hell that is, you know. Butt beard lives on. I'm sorry, David. Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna be waking up screaming tonight, yelling "butt beard." My wife's gonna say, "What are you talking about?" Just like that. So you can find me on Facebook at Correct Handed Comics. You can find me at correcthandedcomics.com with links to all of the books that I have available. Which I have multiple titles out. A one-shot called Shady Lady, which is a noir thriller. You can find. I also have our 4-issue miniseries Evolution Utero, which is about a superpowered fetus before having superpowers before the child is actually born. I have our 100-plus page graphic novel called The Loved Ones, which, if you're a fan of classic movie monsters, it is the children of classic movie monsters hunting their parents. And then our ongoing series, The Offspring, we have issues 1 through 12 out, along with volume 1 with issue 1 through 4 in trade. Issue 5 through 10 is in trade also. We're about to put out issue 13, so we've got a lot going. Find us at correcthandedcomics.com.
Very cool.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Do you need oxygen after that? I'm just making sure.
A window open. Ooh, it's hot, but I'm doing it.
Tell us about yourselves and where we can find you.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is Maud Park, illustrator and so forth. You can find her on Facebook under Maud Park, and you can also find her on DeviantArt and ArtStation and Instagram. Check her out on Sundays, starting tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Artist Alley Shopping Network. We'll be auctioning off a Critter piece on there, and we'll also be showing a cover that we did for a comic book called Plan 59 from Outer Space, a sequel to the Ed Wood classic cult movie. She'll also be doing another interview next week, Saturday. I forgot the time, but I think it's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Phil McCall on the Lemore channel. Right? And stay tuned to, and we're currently in the Gen Kings Cadets Con that's happening this weekend. It goes all the way to tomorrow night as well. So you can check out Maud's Facebook page and see all the listings that we have of stuff that's available. Check out cadetscon.com and see what else they have going on out there for the show. And just keep watching the page and see what else we got going on.
And speaking of networking, the cool thing is actually the recent comic cover that I finished, Planet 59, was referred by Tom Hutchinson. So thank you, Tom.
Nice. Very nice.
You know, I just went to the Artist Alley Shopping Network on Facebook, and Mog is wearing a crown.
Oh, yes.
She is such a diva. Don't let the quiet, fool you.
I'm not a diva. I swear to God.
She's sitting on the.
She's a queen. She's a queen.
Yep.
Embrace it. Embrace it.
Exactly. All right, Clown King, it's all you, buddy.
I'm Jimmy Noble. You can find me on Facebook, Jim E. Noble. You can also find me on the gram, Jim.E.Noble. I also have Totally Rad Comics for all things totally rad, adult 80s, and sexy fun adventures in space. You can find me on the Totally Rad Comics page. I'm also on BackerKit. Totally Rad Life of Violet #3 /Rax #1 on BackerKit. I have an Indiegogo that's coming out in a week. I did a Kickstarter a couple weeks ago. So I'm pretty much all over the place. It's all you got to do is Google search Totally Rad Comics, and I'm pretty sure it'll be easy to find me. I'm always open to chat, no matter what you want to chat about. If you want to see uncensored covers, I got all the uncensored covers you possibly want to see, and of course, it's always totally rad.
That was brilliant.
One last thing before we leave, I saw the message over here. Dan Stockwell, I want to go ahead and give you a shout out because you said you can't wait to get my comic book with the exclusive cover. They are on the way, and I will say I have 10 trade the trade dress left is all I have left. You are the only one who has my official signature on those books. So I'm just letting you know because you requested it. You were the only one with a signature so far. So I actually had to practice for like almost an hour before I signed it. But they are signed by Demon Phil. So it's something I've never done before. So you have got absolute first time set up like that.
Wow.
So that being said, we're going to go ahead and shut this one down for the evening. Thank you very much for everybody being here and look forward to the next time. And we'll see what other shenanigans we can come up with on there. So until next time, keep it indie, y'all.